Today I want to talk about Jung Kook addressing his pet that has died and what happened there. It's very sweet. We also have Jung Kook officially deleting his Instagram, and many people think that there's a big reason why other than what he posted on Weverse. And then we have some stalkers being talked about. So hey dumplings, it's Dave Desa, hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on, grab your dumplings, hey Spilling Mug merch, and let's go. If you are not aware, Jung Kook loves animals. He is so good with animals, and he just absolutely loves dogs. He currently has a Doberman that he takes really good care of, and the Doberman's name is Bam. People were surprised by how well he takes care of the Doberman because Dobermans usually have cropped ears, and the ears are not naturally like that, and are done for no specific health reason other than to make your dog look tough. So the dog goes through this unnecessary pain, and they don't even know why it's being done, just so their dog can look tough and fit the owner's tough aesthetic. So it's not the best thing to do. And Jung Kook does not do that. Before Bam, Jung Kook had a dog named Gurum. Gurum is a little white snowball, and the word Gurum actually means cloud in Korean. So it's super cute. Gurum died, and Jung Kook didn't really share the news until about a year after Gurum died. I mean, we don't typically see his dog on the day-to-day, so we assume that maybe Gurum was just not on camera. I don't believe a specific reason or how Gurum died was ever mentioned. It was mentioned that Gurum was sick, and that was about it. And the specific reason isn't really our business anyway. Armies were of course very sad to hear the news. A lot of us understand what it's like to lose a pet, and so we can't imagine what Jung Kook and his family must have gone through with that. But don't get all sad and goopy with me yet. We actually have some really fun news associated with that. Actually, this can make you cry more. But let me give some backstory here. If you are not aware, BTS has a game called In the Seum, and basically all the boys stuck on an island, and you play the game either by doing puzzles or just sending the boys off the random parts of the island. It's a fun, chill game, and it's not really a competitive or super action-packed game. But the boys have made the effort to make the game really their own. The characters' personalities are very much the individual members' personalities, and it's very fun. It was revealed recently that Jung Kook sent in a request to the design team to have Gurum in the game. It was reported that Jung Kook wanted Gurum to live past on his life, and a good way to do that is through the game, as the game mimics Gurum's personality and allows the beautiful dog to live on past his years. Of course, a lot of armies got emotional, but it's really such a beautiful way to honor someone's life, because every character in the game, dead or alive, is going to continue to live on in the game and touch people's lives even without actually being alive. And one of the most impactful things we do when we're alive is touch lives. So I'm so happy and emotional to hear that Jung Kook went about doing this. I think it was so cool to suggest it, and so good for the design team to actually agree to do it. Jung Kook has also been on the news recently for deleting his Instagram, which I will talk about in a little bit, but there's been a lot of people saying that Jung Kook has been stalked recently, and that could have contributed to him deleting his Instagram account. So what happened, and what stalker moment do we have today? There was a couple of viral TikTok accounts saying that they were chasing Jung Kook all around town and got a bunch of really private and personal pictures. They also mentioned how they were a professional hacker and probably got a lot of personal Jung Kook pictures from his phone. People very quickly just believed this account and their words, even though they didn't really leak anything personal on Jung Kook. Armies are often afraid of something happening before it happens, and so people began reporting these accounts. But it's hard to crucify someone for something if they haven't actually done it, but just saying that they can. Not even that they will, just that they can. It's interesting to me how this went viral, as we have the Gurumi Haribo situation with V and Jenny, and people are now still saying it's fake, which I agree with. But it's interesting because Gurumi had photos to show, like regardless of if it's photoshopped or not, photos were posted. So I understand why some people would believe it and where that comes from. This rumor and TikTok account, I don't understand where the belief comes from. None of this I don't think would be a huge deal if it wasn't for a scenario that happened not too long ago. It was allegedly leaked that Jung Kook was dating a blonde girl from Dubai. The rumors make very little sense, as the main driving force was Jung Kook was wearing a necklace and the blonde girl was an owner of a jewelry shop with that necklace. And then people were harassing her and Jung Kook, saying that the two were together. But that makes no sense. Everywhere Jung Kook went in Dubai was heavily documented. He didn't leave anywhere without security or a bunch of people recording him. If he was on a date, I don't think it would have been easy to hide. That rumor later evolved into the blonde girl actually being a stalker, and then that rumor made so many armies scared that Jung Kook allegedly took a necklace from a stalker. But again, no proof of any of this. And the fandom has a history of claiming that anyone that gets near Jung Kook is a stalker. And the fandom sometimes will try very hard to make a person look bad just because they don't like them. So they'll try to squeeze a square into a circle type of thing. And this is often undone from jealousy or many things like that. This rumor paired with the random professional hacker girl rumor made people think that Jung Kook must be deleting his Instagram account for safety or privacy. So what happened with that? Let's get into it now. On February 28th, armies logged onto Instagram and did their normal searches of the BTS members and noticed that Jung Kook was no longer active. His profile was deleted. It was initially very cute because all of the 7 members were following 7 accounts. This is one member following the other 6 members, and then they also followed the official BTS account. But it was cute because it said 7 on all their profiles. Now it just says 6. But of course, armies went wild after noticing Jung Kook was gone, and this news went viral within army. Jung Kook later went on Weverse to update that he didn't delete it for no reason, but he just felt like he was no longer using it, so why keep it? He talked about just being on Weverse and that he won't be reinstating Instagram. This is a tough thing to understand, as most people, when we just don't use an account, just keep it up and just not post. But he completely deleted it. And I think a big reason for that is because armies will constantly post about how they want to see more of Jung Kook's posts and talk about that. So instead of giving army false hope, he's just saying that he won't post. And this idea that Jung Kook wasn't happy with his account can't be too shocking, right? He constantly kept deleting and reposting things and rearranging things, and he just seemingly wasn't happy. Maybe he just realized, oh, I don't like Instagram. That's what it is. Many people thought that the deleting was due to the quote-unquote stalker that I mentioned earlier, but that makes very little sense to me as well. If the issue is that every time Jung Kook logs on Instagram, his IP address is being tracked, then there's security on his end he could take, right? A VPN, things like that, which leads me to today's sponsor. I'm kidding. But even if he didn't want to take that and didn't know how to, Jung Kook being on Weverse from now on would have the same Instagram privacy concern. Wouldn't that still be easy to track his IP address too, because it's a social media platform? And Weverse is newer, so their security is probably not as good. And it's even worse because Jung Kook talked about just using Weverse as a platform to go live on from time to time, and he's literally showing his apartment in the live stream on Weverse. So if he was so concerned over privacy, he definitely wouldn't do that. Jung Kook has never really posted anything about his apartment on Instagram. So privacy or being stalked actually has nothing to do with why he deleted his Instagram. People think that this stalker privacy issue was brought to light by fans and staff, but I don't think there is an issue here. I think Jung Kook simply didn't want to deal with the platform, realized he had gone months without posting and didn't miss it, so why continue? I spoke about this before, that Jung Kook doesn't really like social media. He is also very introverted, so he probably enjoys his time to himself and away from the noise. Armies often like to jump to the conclusion of scary reasons why a BTS member would do something, but it's often not that deep. Social media is exhausting at times, and even more so with people who may be experiencing mental health issues. I don't think Jung Kook is, but just a general thing. If you find yourself doom scrolling, where you just scroll constantly without stopping and really even watching anything, you're just scrolling, that is a sign of depression and anxiety usually. And doing that can make your mental health worse. So it's far better to just unconnect, go outside, and do something else. Jung Kook, during his break, probably figured out what he likes to do and what parts of social media are actually fun for him. He enjoys live streaming, but why not live stream on the platform that you partly own or contribute to versus live streaming on one that you won't make any money on? You know what I mean? So anyway, these are just my theories and thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about Jung Kook talking about his dead dog, Gurum, Jung Kook deleting his Instagram, and how do you feel about the sudden rise of Sasaengs being talked about and apparently hurting Jung Kook? Do you think that they are? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.